I'm using the minimum amount of drugs you can imagine. And I'm looking that good. It's just like, how are you doing it? It's like, yeah, bro, I suffer so much. I do so much cardio. I'm so strict with my food. You guys have no idea. And then you try to take away my credit by just saying that I'm using more and all this stuff. And I'm just like,
were you, quote, famous from this, or did that happen later on? Like, I first personally saw you doing the in the vein alien gains. It was like the chest was rippling and going. That's the first memory I have of seeing your physique. That's when I discovered you. But were you famous before that, or what led to your, extreme popularity?
Let's say with the bicycle sport, I was doing well. People around the world, they would know me, but I wouldn't been at international events yet. And back in the days, there was not really YouTube that much. I was doing some, but not that much. And there was another platform which was called Sponsory. I was been the biggest guy there in this platform. Let's say in the scene of this bicycle sport, I would be quite well known, but ultimately not famous. I mean, in terms of numbers, it's nothing compared to now. And then, yeah, you are right. So you discovered me maybe when I did the Alien Gains. So when you want to talk about that story, where I came from and all that, it's like, eventually I would go to the gym, right? Move to another city, meet that guy. And he's like, hey, you have Instagram? I'm like, no, I just have Facebook now. Like back in the days, I was in Facebook. And then I just said Facebook. He's like, no, you got to get on Instagram, bro. This is the next big thing, man. I guarantee. So I sign up and he's like, yeah, put some hashtags, man. There's these tags for likes, bro, that you need to put. And then you upload pictures and you get a lot of likes. And I'm like, whoa, crazy, man. Okay, show me these hashtags, bro. So I got on these hashtags and he's like, yeah, see, here you can document your journey. And then it was like, oh, that's cool. Because back in the days, I was on that, then eventually starting to prep for a bodybuilding competition. And then we said, yeah, okay, let's use this platform to keep track of our progress and road to stage, I was calling it and stuff. So I would upload pictures on a regular basis, just showing how we would make progress, how we get in shape, or like, let's say, how we gain muscle at first and all that stuff. So, and then from there, with these tags for likes, blah, blah, hashtags, and then commenting. And another guy said, yeah, if you have to comment a lot on other pictures and comment a lot on other guys. And so I all day commenting around, doing hashtags, uploading pictures, maybe growing my account to like 30,000 followers. Was quite okay then. And then eventually went up to like 80,000 by keep doing this for like 2 years. But for like 2 years I would do this. Then obviously the journey from the road to stage thing was over. I was then still staying in shape because I swear the shredded lifestyle, it was always my thing, shredded lifestyle. I was always super ripped. So I saw all these big guys on Instagram and stuff, and I saw what they are posting. And that was mind blowing. And it was like, but I almost look like that, bro. So I was like, if I just keep looking the way that these guys having great success with, and they keep posting pictures the way they do, and maybe I can become one of them, bro. So I was always trying to stay good lean and make these hardcore pictures and like just always about, what I'm doing, right? So similar stuff. Back in the day, same shit. And then 90,000 followers, I would also go off cycle, right? Because I was cycling back then, right? So I went off cycle for a year because I was moving from another city. And I was like, fuck, I think I'm over all this bullshit with taking something and being so hardcore about fitness. So let's just ditch this a bit and stay off cycle and just become normal again and keep training. Because another of my friends, he stopped using and then he would just never use again. Until now, he is the only person I know, by the way, who started with something like testosterone and then would just use it for 1 or twice and then just leave it forever. Because there's a great chance that you get really addicted to that shit, or your mind gets, and then you just stick to it for the rest of your life. But that's another topic. So yeah, then 90,000 followers, and then I would stop, go off cycle, just get busy with girls, partying and stuff, and just doing nothing in terms of social media. Then getting back to fitness and checking my hormones and all that stuff right back in the days. And then I realized that, yeah, just 1 year off, this is still not coming back too much. I was at like 250 or something. The test levels were at like 2.5. I think in Canada you would name like 2.5. And they said, yeah, it's still quite low, man. And I was like, yeah, but what can I do? I really like training, but somehow in my mood, everything was not good still. And I was somehow a bit depressed. Like I said, I was also partying a lot. And that was not good, bro. Like So I went through all that party shit, right? And then girl stuff, and then like going home, and then just what should I do with my life somehow? Lost my job, like a lot of things happened in my life, actually kicked out of my apartment. And then I had to restructure myself and like rebuild myself. And I found like fitness is a great base. It helped me a lot always. So let's get back to it. Let's try to figure out what is the root of me being so miserable. So went to the doctor, checked all this stuff out, then eventually go on TRT, right? And then starting to train better again, and then just going to Linz for a photo shoot. And there the alien game thing kind of happened. And then we took video of that. I upload this one and it just blows up like crazy. I uploaded it on Facebook as well. And it also went super viral on Facebook. And then Lad Bible and Sports Bible and all super big pages on Facebook posted it. And Instagram, it went super viral. So I blew up like 100,000 followers in, I'm not sure if it was like 1 day or 2 days, but that's, let's say overnight.
Wow. Yeah.
100K plus.
Okay, so basically, you said a lot there. So you tried to become a bodybuilder. So you were actively competing, and I first wanted to know, like, and obviously you're doing cycles, and you were bigger back then. How did you do? Were you winning? Because I look at your physique now, and I'm like, you look like a pro. And so I'm thinking, why isn't he competing to be a pro? There's a lot of questions I want to ask, but like, let's start with like, how did you do as a bodybuilder back then?
Okay, so there was this thing. Let's say I was looking really good, bro. Like, until I was like 2 weeks out, I was looking super good. I was this guy in our prep where our coach, I don't want to talk numbers, bro, but this guy would just give us ridiculous amounts of stuff.
Sure.
And I would just use that, right? I would just use that, don't think too much. And I would gain like 1 kg of muscle a month. And then when we were dieting, I would just stay the same weight. Like I started diet with 110, it went down to 105. And then I was just staying there until I get like more peeled, like literally like stage ready. Then like 2 weeks out, I was having some problems with work and my girlfriend back in the days. And then I was just mentally somehow depressed. This coach kind of fucked off and he got busy with some other stuff that he had to do. So he's like, sorry guys, I cannot help you anymore. Because it was me and a bunch of friends back then. It was like, this was my gang, right? This is, we started all that stuff together and we went through this together and then finished this also together. But then the guy just was missing. So we had no one telling us what to do and what not. And then I was, let's say, peak week, and I just wouldn't be doing no carb and wouldn't doing a proper peak week. And then wouldn't carb up properly and like all that stuff that can go wrong ultimately before the show. Then there was a Frey Classic was the show, by the way. It's in Germany, Frey Classic. And went there, I looked like shit, man, like completely bad. I almost didn't want to compete. I looked so much better like 3, 4, 5 weeks out even. And that annoyed me so much that after this competition, I would just also stay in shape, trying to get even better shape, right? And then, anyways, coming off. But for these competitions that I did, I look better now. I looked much better like the last 2-3 years after all that competing stuff than I did for my competition. Because I realized after the second competition that I just somehow don't like the process of that last week or these last 2 weeks of getting there. Like I rather eat kind of low. I rather look, let's say, halfway shredded than being these crazy shredded, because from getting from this stage of being me, right, and being kind of lean, but from getting from there to really, really peel that you need to be in order to win like a bodybuilding show, like super crazy shredded glutes, you have to suffer a lot. And I realized by doing this no carb and suffering, it makes me suffer so much that I just don't enjoy fitness anymore. Like somehow I just don't enjoy bodybuilding anymore too much. After the competition was done, it's like, I don't want to go to the gym. This is not cool. So I realized I'd rather stay in a decent shape all the time. That satisfies me much more than being like fat and getting prepared, than being like off season and getting prepared again. That's just me personally. Yeah. But no, in terms of my physique, I'm looking much better now. Maybe let's say I looked much better 1 year ago when I was quite peeled, because now I tore my biceps and this small elbow, this stuff. You know what I mean? The older you get, it's like the first time. I'm now 29 years old, man. This is the first time in my life where I'm thinking like, it's like a shock, bro. Where like, wait, I'm not invincible, bro. Like shit, man. Like I cannot do these things like I did. Like, like I would like to ride my bicycle again, ride and do some just stunts here a bit on the streets. And I'm like, hey, will this maybe just tear my biceps tendon again? And it's just like limiting myself now in terms of what exercises I do and what not I do, just because you're getting older and all of a sudden things are just not the same.
Right. It's tough. I mean, I've gone through it all. I was doing all these competitions my whole life, but I only took steroids and whatnot like later in my life. And so I only turned pro at 35. So, I mean, to me, you're so young. I turned pro at 35. I'm 46. And I only recently got back into like, well, I used to do triathlons as a kid. So now I'm into the bike riding, but I did triathlons for 13 years, you know, trying to build muscle, doing all that cardio. And so I was able to kind of build muscle for a long, long time as a natural. Then when I took steroids, obviously got a lot bigger. Now for you, you competed, you could have been, I mean, I think you could have been an IFBB pro, especially now with classic physique. You look amazing, but you just don't like the last couple of weeks. And I think that people don't understand how shitty you feel when you look your best. Like you look, for most people, you have the dream physique right now, but you know that you're maybe at 80% and you could get that much better. But to go from where you are now to that pro level shreds, the diet, the suffering, the cardio, it's just not worth it for you. So although you could get the card, I think it's not worth it. And really, you don't need it. You're clearly have so many followers, and honestly, other than Chris Bumstead, I can't think of one person that's a physique guy that's as popular as you are in the world. And he's the Mr. Olympia. So out of all the guys, really, why would you need to compete? You don't need to go to the Mr. Olympia. You don't need to do that because you're so successful without it. And so
I want to go there
the right way.
The only reason why I would like to go there and just do this, to shut everyone up that just nonstop talking shit that I'm not that good and stuff. And I'm just like, bruh, I'm laughing at these guys because I'm suffering so badly, man. I'm using the minimum amount of drugs you can imagine. And I'm looking that good. It's just like, how are you doing it? It's like, yeah, bro, I suffer so much. I do so much cardio. I'm so strict with my food. You guys have no idea. And then you try to take away my credit by just saying that I'm using more and all this stuff. And I'm just like, but on the other side is then the next thing. Not only I dislike the last week or the last 2 weeks of getting stage ready. It's also all these extra, let's say, drugs which I should be using if I really want to be like super number one or whatever, right? So I'm telling you, like, I swear to God, if I would jump on trend never ever again and like I would do a blast, I would let everyone know because it will be. You will see it. You will see it. I'm always. Even now, I'm again in this moment where I'm like, oh my God, I wish I would just look a tiny bit better, man. Should I just use something more? And then I'm like, for what, man? Just don't. Like, just don't. You don't want to use all these things. Like, people want to do what they want to do. Okay, fine. Don't judge. But just because I'm not going their path, just also then don't judge me because I let you guys do and live and compete. But just in terms of them, they start to hate on me because many, let's say, people having big egos these days, you know. So imagine you are a very well-known IFBB pro, bro. So you have been winning all these competitions, and then I show up like, who is this motherfucker? By the way, it's like some random ass, like makes funny videos, like doesn't take himself serious, just talks in a weird accent, shit. Like, hey, who is he? Why is he so popular? He doesn't deserve the fame, man. I win these competitions. Look at me, bro. I'm well educated. I should have 7 million followers, not him. But I'm like, yeah, bro, but wait. These guys, they keep forgetting nowadays, everyone looks good. There's so many people, they look insanely good. You need to be a bit more different than just, yeah, you are handsome, nice body. Cool, bro, that's very good. That's where you can win competitions with. That's the thing. But in order to win the heart of people, right, and being maybe successful in social media and being maybe a cool guy, I don't know. A good body is just not enough these days. That's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So many people are jealous or envious because of somebody's success. They see somebody doing really good and they don't realize that it takes a lot of, I mean, obviously it takes a lot of hard work and great genetics, and it doesn't necessarily take all the drugs. And people are thinking it's easy for them. All they do is sit in front of a camera and chat, talk, and they have all these followers. And so they get mad at that rather than working harder, because they don't see the work that goes behind the scenes. Rather than them working harder, it's easier for them to write a comment and say, you suck, you're not so good, blah, blah, blah. It's all steroids, it's all trend. I get it all the time. And even if you're honest, people are not going to believe you. Like I tell everyone, I'm on 140 milligrams of test a week. I do 100 milligrams every 5 days. That's what I'm doing. I'm guest posing in a week and a half. guest posing, and I would want to look better. I mean, I broke my elbows. My muscles aren't as big as they could be. I would love to do a cycle. I would like to look bigger. I would want to do this, but for health reasons, I'm not. And so I'm sure, as you just said, you want to look a bit bigger. You could take the trend and look that much better, but the health consequences is not really worth it.
It is 100% like that. But nowadays that people are just unaware of these things. They just want the quick thing real quick. They want it quick. No one can wait nowadays. While we are now basically in the sport that teaches you the best, that you need to learn how to wait. You need to learn how to wait. This is like success in the gym can't be measured like in other sports. You know, maybe in another sport you do something and all of a sudden you throw 3 meters further and that's measurable success. And then you go to the gym today and then you go to gym tomorrow, but you still look the same. And then in a week, you still eventually look the same. But it's these things that you keep doing that then add up after a month or two. And then you look back and you realize, wow, there was great progress. But I had to wait for it. And I had to stay disciplined and I had to nonstop keep doing the work. Otherwise, I wouldn't get the results. And that's what people are just lacking in doing. The real deal story is that nowadays people are just pussies, bro. Like too much of a pussy out there, man. It's like, you are a real tough man, then just go and show and prove it to you. Not to me, man. Don't prove me anything. Prove it to yourself how hardcore you really are, man.
Exactly. And people think that it's the magic pill. Like if anyone's natural and they're watching this, they're thinking, well, Greg, you only look like that because of HRT. They don't think of the bike racing. They don't think of the diet. They don't think the suffering that goes on. They look at your physique. Oh, it's just steroids. He doesn't have to do anything. He just takes that. If I took that, I would look like that too. They have no idea how strict you would have to eat, how you'd have to go through the hunger, how you have to do the training, the dieting, and the discipline that it takes. And so the sad reality is until they take those drugs themselves, they won't know that it's not magic. Obviously, it helps you build a lot of muscle, but you're not going to have a 6-pack and walk around, single digit body fat unless you put in the work.
100%. And that's the only thing which I want to kind of do, also inspire and motivate people to do, to just see like, hey guys, look, I'm doing it with a very little amount of anything and stuff. And it's still possible because I keep putting in the work. I keep doing the exercise. I keep doing the cardio. I keep educating myself. I'm trying to get better, to level myself up in different things in my life. And ultimately, maybe this also helps me to create a greater physique. And the drugs is just some extra thing. But then also imagine one story. Let's say there's a guy in India, bro, and he lives outside in the village, man, and he doesn't even have a phone really. And he's just having some pictures printed out of Ronnie Coleman and all these big guys. And he's training and he doesn't even know what steroids are. And he just have his basic nutrition. And this guy is huge because all he did, he's looked at these pictures like, I want to look like this. So he tried as hard as possible. And it's not a single % influence from any social media, from any outside voices. So he just looks at this and thinks like, wow, this is possible. This is where I'm going to go. And then he keeps digging in and he keeps doing, and he creates such a crazy physique where people look at him and it's like, what the fuck? How could he get so big and shredded? He must be using steroids. And then the guy's like, hey, I don't even know what steroids are, right? It's like, yeah. But wait, you guys are just so limited already in your mind in what is technically possible, right? So that's why you never ever achieve a great physique, because you look at someone and say, yeah, this is cool. I would like to look like this. Then someone say, yeah, but you can't. You can't. Just don't even try. And it's like, yeah, but I would really love to look like this. So how about you just try as hard as you can? And then after like 5 years, man, imagine we don't try for like a month or 2 or 3. How about you try for 5 years as hard as possible? How good you can become in this sport. And after that, you make a resume and realize like, hey, maybe without letting other people influence my opinion on what's possible and what's not, I would have achieved much greater results because, like I said, people, they see other people online, they say, this is what I want to achieve. Then other people go ahead and they just destroy their motivation because they keep telling them it's not possible. You need to take a lot of roids to look like this. And then they say, yeah, what I even bother trying when these guys are anyways right?